you go straight into the intro? Oh no, we don't. After you, Jack.
Classic.
Hello everybody! We are Die Rolling. Some of you may remember us from around about 2 years ago when we last played this merry old game that we like to call Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. We've played about 40 episodes, 40 sessions over around 2 years of this campaign we call the Star Engine. And there's been a 2-year break due to a little pandemic that somebody said something about. Now, this, for those of you who know us, this is the continuation of the story that you know as the Star Engine. For those of you who are new, which hopefully there's a few new faces around over the coming weeks, this is a great point to start off. Don't feel like because you haven't seen the previous campaigns that you won't know what's going on, and it's better to not bother, because this is a good jumping off point. A fairly major, it's almost a second film, as if it were. We've had the Fellowship of the Ring. This is the Two Towers.
It's my favourite.
Literally, it's just the plot. It's just the plot of the Two Towers. So we'll do it once around the table. I'm your Dungeon Master, Jack. We started playing Dungeons and Dragons about 3 years ago. This is a campaign entirely written out of this insane mind in a hostile world that we call Asher. Asher is controlled by rather oppressive elves. Magic is outlawed. Ophidia, the god of magic, worship of her is banned and outlawed. And generally, as with a lot of Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, it's a fairly hostile realm. And around us we have 4 wonderful players who will become adventurers shortly. So this is Rich. Rich, this is the last time I'll refer to you as Rich. Who do you play in this little campaign that we call the Star Engine?
I try and play an elderly gnome chap who's not very brave. And he's not very powerful. And he's just lurking for the retirement home, basically.
What's his name?
Zolan! Why not say Zolan?
That's a key. That's a key
Zolan
piece of
is his
information.
name.
Let's just adjust that one a little bit there. There we go. Zolan the gnome.
Oh, he's a gnome, he's an artificer.
Mm.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, these are the key facts.
Alchemist. That is, it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
And I wasn't very good at D&D 2 years ago.
Little in stature, little in bravery.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, known for his cowardice. Spent 2 episodes in a tree.
Yeah.
I was
Hiding.
role-playing that.
Yeah.
I was not getting out of that tree.
And here we have Carl.
Howdy.
Carl, who do you play?
I play Thorinir, wood elf druid, who's just a little bit distracted, I guess, constantly. Likes shiny things. More of a magpie than a druid, wood elf. But
And spent his whole life in the Wood Elf regions.
yeah, very sheltered. Never seen a brick before, never seen a wheel before, never seen anything that isn't a wood elf or an animal before, so.
And it's worth noting at this point that the territories of Asher are extremely... there's a lot of segregation. There's not a huge amount of integration within Asher. We've just left the human and halfling territory of Campaign 1 in effect, and who knows where we'll end up now. But yeah, this isn't a particularly integrated society.
It's not a
here
good
in
place
Asher.
to be an elf.
It's not a particularly good place to be a blue elf, as our sea elf Nollis found out. Stu, who do you play in this campaign?
I play Malcolm, who is technically a monk in his character class, but he's more of a hippie, really. Spent the last few years growing up in a group of ne'er-do-wells in the forest. Had a developing quite close friendship with our now missing, I'm assuming, presumed dead blue elf, so he's extremely upset about that. But yeah, that's Malcolm.
And Josh, Who did you play in the first campaign?
Hello. I played Claro, who is a half-elf wizard, necromancer. He was from the streets of Equa, which is the large city within the world that we play in. He didn't have a lot of friends. He was very much on his own, but he got a quest and he joined this party and made friends and was a little bit more social by the end of the 40 sessions. Very focused, very quest focused, very halfling focused character. But when the battles started, he could bring the pain. He had a lot of very offensive spells and could usually be found stabbing someone with a shadow blade.
Thank you very much. Please, all of our Twitch subscribers, we're back on our original channel, twitch.tv/die rolling. We play every Tuesday evening, 7:30 p.m. GMT, which is about 2:30 p.m. East Coast America and about 11:30 a.m. West Coast. There you go. It's pretty good, isn't it?
What about Singapore time?
Singapore time, it's about 3 a.m.
Mongolia?
3:30 a.m.
We're big in
Mongolia.
What about the Mongolians?
Big. I don't know.
Come on.
huge
Um,
Mongolia.
Big
So
country,
yeah, please do join us. All the things that people say, like and subscribe and
Hit that
notifications
bell, man.
and hit the bell, man, and all that important stuff. Our subscribers get fabulous emojis and all sorts of things that we designed about 2 years ago.
The classic face palm.
There we
Still
go.
there.
Oh no! So much damage now to the
And,
text.
Yeah, I'm gonna
We
have-
didn't
I'm gonna have to
design
be
them, did
careful
we?
how I do it.
yeah, throwing it, Carl.
Did you design them, Carl?
It's zero attention to this show, buddy.
I thought it was Anna and KO and the crew.
They would
I
have been,
thought.
they would have been much better. Actually, there were
Yeah,
some of them were.
They were. Welcome back, lovely Dragoonies. We've kept in touch with many of you. We've been playing games with some of you online over the pandemic. That kept us sane. So yeah, really good. I'm sure some of you are there. I haven't seen the chat yet, but I'm sure some of you are
They're
around.
all bloody here.
Oh, of course they
Yeah.
are. Hello, guys.
They're
Hello.
all here.
Really? They're really good.
They are.
All the big
fantastic.
names. All the big names. No, really good to see everyone.
Hello, everyone.
I've run out of things that I need to say. Let's play Dungeons and Dragons, shall we? And I'll tell you what, because it's been 2 years. Where is he?
I just saw
My
the
screen is
picture.
still miles away. Where is he?
That one.
This
That
is the-
one?
This is
That
the
one?
point that you play the intro, is it?
That is the point I play the intro, Rich. Yeah, that's
Excellent.
exactly right.
Hello, boys. Pink lemonade?
Mom!
Every time.
Is it PG without our sponsorship?
Yeah,
Can we do what we want
you
now?
know, it's PG-12. It's PG-12.
What swear word's going to get away with in PG-12?
All of them.
All of them, but only
them.
once.
Only once.
Yeah.
Tick
Right,
them
yeah.
off.
But
I
not,
need a bingo list, yeah,
not all
ready.
at the same time. Preferably.
Okay, I'll try.
Oh, hang
Same
on.
backwards.
Centre.
Hang on. I've remembered a thing we do.
Do we?
For those of you who aren't used to this, unfortunately we can't afford a full production team, so it's quite a lot of self-producing here. So apologies if any of the sounds off. Yeah, like let us know in the chat if you
Oh,
can't hear anybody or anything like that, because
You've
we're
got two small children.
yes, they could be our editors. Right, let's try this. Let's see if this still
Production
works.
runners.
What are child labour laws? It's almost like 16
As long
hours
as
a
you
week
keep it-
you
as long
can
as you
get.
keep it in the house,
Yeah.
then that's fine.
I'll never
It's
know.
not yours. Here we go.
Malcolm, you awake. the exposed wooden beams above you, and the invigorating, homely smell immediately familiar. You're in your bed, but different. No, the same, but smaller. Or maybe...
This is somewhat unnerving.
Or maybe you're bigger.
Lockdown.
The bed's smaller.
As you turn your head stiffly to the right, towards the eggshell white walls, on your soft feather pillow, warm peach light rolls in from your open window behind you. Your eyes are stinging and leaking from a build-up of fluid. You're unable to make out your own reflection in your full-length mirror. It's merely a dreamlike blur. Next to the mirror stands your red ash table, which you and your father built one long hot gold spells evening. Atop it, in its mount, exactly where you left it, stands the wolf willow short sword that he made you. It's smooth, pale wood, perfect, without blemish. Its golden, painted hilt glistens gently, like slow, waltzing fireflies. In your arms you cradle a familiar feeling, an indescribable feeling. Feels like long walks in the meadows, like bread on the fire, imagination, childhood wanderlust. You rub your fingers deliberately over the soft felt and stiff button jacket of your favourite stuffed toy soldier you were given for your 6th birthday. What was his name, Malcolm? George. You run the rim of the jacket over your palm. The familiar tickle makes your hairs stand on end. It reminds you of your mother stroking your palm, running her fingers through your hair as you slowly drift asleep, while she purrs to you a story of heroes and adventures. For a single, bliss-filled moment, you're excited to throw off your sheet, jump out of bed, run into your mother and father's room and into their arms. Just for one moment, you're a child again, carefree and joyous. Malcolm, you're lying in bed in your childhood room.
How the hell did I get here? Okay, so I'm in my childhood home. So the first thing I'm going to try and establish is this real?
Okay.
Is this? I mean, the last thing I remember, we were fighting in an insane environment where you couldn't trust anything. We couldn't even trust that we were in the right bodies. So I've got to try and establish if this is real or just some other crazy illusion. And am I in my body, for starters?
How are we going to check that?
You know how to track it.
Stop it.
There's one thing that only you would know.
So you have the mirror in front of you, for example.
So okay, I'm gonna get out of bed and I'm going to go
So
over
as you step out of
to the
bed,
mirror.
instantly you feel the ache of your body. I mean, it feels like you haven't moved your legs for a long, long time.
So I'm stiff and achy, right?
Beyond stiff and achy.
Yeah.
You are struggling to bend at any area in which you should bend.
Have you ever seen Seven?
Okay. So I'm not in my physical prime.
That's fair.
Okay. Looking at myself, my arms, my hands,
So as you look at the mirror,
and looking in the mirror,
yeah.
what am I seeing?
So as you look at yourself, you see your own hands, you see your own arms. you look into. You've got very long fingernails. You look into the mirror, and it's a sheet of dust.
Okay, so I'm gonna. The first thing, I'll wipe the dust off the mirror.
Okay. When you wipe, as you wipe it down, sort of
How
cough.
thick is this dust?
It's reasonably thick. Yeah. Big clumps of it sort of come up into the air and catch in this shards of pink light, and it makes you cough naturally as you do so. You wipe it down, and you see yourself as Malcolm, clean shaven. Your hair has been trimmed. You're wearing clean white linen trousers and a loose-fitting pale shirt. You look the age at which you last remember yourself. You don't look like you're a child.
Mm-hmm. But physically, what sort of condition am I? Obviously, I feel weak. I feel stiff.
You feel very weak.
I've been in this bed for a long time.
You are, as a character, you are starting with level 1 exhaustion due to malnourishment. You are.
So I feel pretty ropey.
Yes, you are. Your mouth is dry. You feel. Your throat kind of feels a little bit swollen, or.
Can I speak? I'm going to try and clear my throat and try and speak. My voice is hoarse, I'm assuming.
It certainly is. Yeah, you feel kind of weak. You feel you feel like you have been. It doesn't feel like yesterday.
I was going to say this doesn't feel like. I mean, what about the injury? The last thing I remember before everything went to black, I was battered, bruised on the edge of death, severely injured.
Your injury. So you look down. You certainly would have scars and bruising. Much of that seems to have healed. Scars that you may have had across your arm, across your neck, your torso, they have formed scars. They're not fresh wounds.
So I'm poking at things. There's no fresh.
Yeah, and they seem quite old scars at this point.
Okay. But I can establish that the room that I'm in is real.
You can give me an insight roll.
Roll the dice!
First
Roll the
He
dice!
doesn't have any dice.
No, of course I did have. I had some. They were sat on top of my laptop. Ready
Allow me to
come with
consult the bag.
Oh, okay. Let's see what we got.
Let's see what we got. We got bags of dice. Bags of O dice, if you will.
Bags of dice.
What colour will you have today? He's green.
I'll have green.
Oh.
I'll take green. Next week I will have my own.
Okay.
Right. So roll insight. That is 16.
Plus your modifier.
Good year.
How do we play this game again?
Which would be what now?
I'm going to play
game.
along on my.
Insight.
Plus 2.
It'd
Plus
be
2.
towards the top.
Plus 2.
So that's 18.
18. Feels real. You look around.
Looks real. Smells real.
It does. It's indistinguishable from reality.
Okay, well that's a good start. But then again, everything that we experienced previous to me nearly dying felt pretty real too. I'm going to, in whatever shuffling manner I can, make my way over to the door and try the handle.
So the first step you take, you almost fall over as you kick something metal. You stub your toe. There's not a huge...
wake up in a hospital bed, bang my foot on the... Yeah, marvellous.
You
swearing ensues.
Yes. Your foot feels a bit numb still, so the pain isn't necessarily there, but you know you've made contact, and you hear a metallic sound as you look down. You've kicked over what appears to be like a tin bedpan.
Slosh.
There's a bucket, a tin pail, and a rag, and there's stains leading up the side of the bed that indicate they've got wet at some point, and that in some fashion you seem to have been washed or cared for in some regard.
Okay.
You then, as you're walking across the room, you see your toy rocking beast. You can't remember what beast it was, but you remember having it as a child, this withered, shaggy animal that you used to play with as a child.
I mean, I haven't been in this room for 15 years.
There's a cupboard with a door just slightly open, which was your where you kept your clothes as a child. And as you can see through a slit in one of the doors, you can see some of your teenage clothes still seem to be hung up.
Is there any
In
sign
there.
of what I remember last wearing? My hood and pack, my staff.
So, if your first place to look is as you're looking at the cupboard, this springs to your mind. So as you look through that cupboard, you don't see straight away your shirt. The first thing that jumps out at you is this pale, moth-ridden calico shirt that you had when you were younger. You can see the tear in the shirt where the hound tried to bite you as you ran from it with your friends through the market. A smile creases over the corner of your mouth. On the end of the rail, you also see your monk's clothes. Not equipment though, just your clothes at present. And a pair of brilliant black galoshes.
Hey!
The galoshes plus
Nice.
1 to persuasion.
I'm going to change into my
Galoshes.
monk's clothes.
Only
and my-
Only the galoshes.
Only the galoshes.
Out the door.
Hello,
The
world.
long stride.
Yes, it will make me feel more normal. So I'm going to change and get into my normal clothes.
No problem. So that takes you a minute or so just to pull that together. You leave your linen clothes in
On the
there
bed.
and head over to your door.
Yep, I'm feeling a little bit more myself now, and I'm dressed in the right accoutrements.
What do your monk's clothes look like, just for a refresher?
It's nothing fancy. It's just a simple shirt and trousers, loose fitting, with a hooded tabard over the top. Nothing fancy. Normally I have a pack goes across one side and over my back, and a belt with a couple of pouches on it. But have I got the belt? That's where I keep my tools and equipment and things
Sure,
like
no,
that.
only the clothes at the moment.
Right, so yeah, and these very fine leather galoshes that make me feel very, very good.
As you step onto the landing, a shard of warm peach-coloured light follows you through the bedroom out into the landing, guiding your way. The wooden stairwell leads down a short flight. As you remember it, the top step creaks a little, just like you remember.
This is very odd.
Your parents' doorway is to the left, to their bedroom. Just for a moment, a wave of happiness envelops you.
Yeah, the temptation is to knock on the door, but I don't think I can bring myself to do that, so I'm going to go down the stairs.
Okay. So as you start to go down the stairs, from just above you, you hear a scratching, scrabbling noise. You naturally look up to see what it is, and you recall the hatch to what was an attic, a loft of sorts in your family home. The scrabbling noise continues.
Alright, I'll bite. I'm very, very carefully preparing to jump out of the way if anything hideous drops down from there. I'm going to reach up and open the loft hatch.
Okay, so you can reach up. You're certainly tall enough to do so. And as the hatch opens, and the wooden ladder, which was carefully balanced to come down with the hatch as it opens, also slowly lowers itself down there. And as you look up, you can't see anything unusual. It's a vague memory of the attic. You didn't probably spend a lot of time up there, but it seems as familiar as you remember it.
Is there a candle in the wall or anything that I can use to?
So the only lighting that you have at present is that kind of that orangey pinkish light that's coming through from the illumination from your room.
Under like sunbeams, you can fire out your hands.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm physically in the shape to be able to be doing things.
So
like
back
that.
in your room, you would have noticed this. Back in your room, there was a freestanding wooden candelabra. The wax candles had long expired and were quite melted down. The candelabra, some kind of animal, you can't quite remember what it was. The wax might have done it, but there might have been some form of candlelight or candle at least there.
Yeah, I'm not going to go back for that. That's far too sensible. I'm not thinking straight anyway. So I'll just sort of take a couple of steps up the step ladder. Being again, I don't want to emphasise this too much, that I'm being very careful.
Yeah, and to be honest, you have no choice because you're so achy.
Yeah,
Your body, every step is a chore.
I'm going very slowly, but also, I'm being very aware of the potential for things to leap out, fall on me, jump on me, anything on me. So,
Yes.
just sort of a couple of steps up the ladder and sort of poking my head round the loft hatch.
So you poke up there. The air is musty up there, dusty, sort of thicker than the rest of the house. There's a shard of light actually that is coming in through a small round window in the top, just a small round window in the attic. So there is some form of natural beam that's there. It's dim up there. However, you can see enough.
Can I make out what was making the scratching?
So at first,
This giant rat.
at first glance, everything seems still. As you look up there, there's crates, there's tables, there's little piles of all sorts of bits and pieces that are up there. There's things covered in sheets, chests, a variety of boxes, the type of stuff you find in an attic.
Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Always.
Always Christmas.
In an old Christmas tree box, if you had a plastic one. Always.
Oh, there's like Equimus or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to be too adventurous right at the moment, but
Do it.
I'm gonna go
This
up.
is going to last 10 minutes.
I'll go up. I'll climb up into the loft and have a poke around.
Okay, so you get up there. There's enough room to stand. It's not a huge space, but yeah, there's bits and pieces all around here. So there's there's just all sorts of things covered in sheets up there, and then a couple of boxes and chests. And bits and pieces. Is there anything particularly as a table? Anything particularly you're interested in?
I'll just go over. I'll just open one of the chests at random, whichever one happens to be closest to me,
No problem.
just to see how many
Bees.
so many.
So many
So
bees.
the first one, I guess you come to, it's sort of more of a crate rather than having a sealed lid. And as you sort of touch it, it's sort of only partially covered with a cloth at all. It looks like the damp's gotten to it a lot, and a lot of it sort of just looks like it's just about to fall away to the touch.
I'm
It,
still not completely convinced any of this is real.
it holds your childhood clothes. You can see a rattle. You don't necessarily remember it. You assume it was yours. A painted wooden door sign made by your mother with a broken hook. It used to hang on your door. What was it that you and your mother painted on it?
It was just little animal totems, little. I can't even recognise them now.
A wave of overwhelming nostalgia gives you this warm, fuzzy feeling. It makes your hairs stand on end.
If this is all an illusion, somebody's gone to a hell of a lot of trouble.
For a split second, you somehow know your mother would be proud of you.
Okay, there is no obvious sign of like creatures or things running around.
So you can make a perception roll if you like.
That's 10, 12.
There's some kind of
signs
movement in the room,
scrabbling.
but you can't for the life of you identify quite where it's from.
I'm going to have a more purposeful look around behind the boxes and things.
Okay. So the next thing you come to is this charming embroidered length of cloth. And as you unfurl it, it shows a man standing with his knee raised high, his arms held out as if balancing, holding the crane fighting stance. It's your father.
Interesting.
Right next to that, a simple splintered table holds a wooden chalice, a small pile of faded books, and a scroll. The scroll is edged with gold trim. Are you interested in any of those things?
I'll have a look at the scroll, definitely.
As soon as you unfurl it, you instantly remember this scroll. You note it's notably lavish, written in fine inks, beautiful calligraphy. It's your invitation to join the Aqua Guard. Hand signed by your old friend Captain Emery, leader of the Wick Guard at the time. This town, of course, is Wick that we're in. You remember the day that you received it as being the happiest day of your life.
What is going on here? Okay. I'm going to pick up the chalice cup, and I'm going to leave the. I'm going to leave the loft. I'm going to go back down the ladder.
Sure.
Take the cup with me. Just sort of absent-mindedly, you know, picking it up and.
So just as you begin to descend back down the loft, you notice one of the sheets, quite a tall sheet, maybe 4 or 5 foot high, it seems to be covering something. It moves. And it's fairly evident to you that this sheet has a humanoid underneath it.
Is there anything within
Hide and seek.
anything that I can just that within arm's reach that I can pick up as a makeshift weapon?
You're holding a wooden chalice.
Apart from the I'll just Who's there?
A mumbling sound is returned. Kind of a...
Okay, I'm gonna move forward as quickly as my aching and wearied limbs will take me, and pull the cloth away.
As you pull the cloth away, Thorinir, staring back at you, you realise your mouth is bound The first time even this very low level of light up here in the attic, this shard coming through the window, again kind of burns your eyes. It's been a long time since you've used them. And as you struggle to focus and your eyes are running and tearing, you realise Malcolm is here staring back at you. You see Thorinir tied up, bound to a wooden chair.
Yeah, I'm going to untie him.
Imagine if you'd missed that.
It's not a name
Lucky
for
I
these
didn't,
things.
wasn't it?
That is deep in.
It's a deep end.
Yeah, I'm going to, overcoming my immediate surprise and shock at this, I'm going to reach over and untie him and ungag him.
I think he wants to be gagged, I reckon.
Sure.
It is possible.
This isn't torture.
So Thorin is sitting on this chair. You're untying him. You can do it. It might take you a minute or so to do so. It's quite tightly bound in places. You lost the feeling in your arms.
If your first words are behind you, I'm going
There's and as you're doing so, you sort of kneel next to the more lavish chest that's in this attic. It's the only other notable thing really around you. And then eventually you manage to ungag and then untie Thorin.
How did you get? This is how did you get here,
Claro, it's been so long.
Malcolm?
Zolan.
Malcolm. Hi. How did you get here?
Where is here?
This is, as far as I can make out, this is my childhood home.
This is still the dream, right?
You
How
think
are you in my dream?
Right.
Why did you
okay.
untie me? I was so relaxed.
Would you like me to tie you back up?
No, it's fine.
Okay. I'm getting somewhat overwhelmed by all of this. Okay. How long have you been here?
Where is here?
In this building, on that chair?
I am a dragon.
I need to drink. You're a dragon?
We're not dreaming.
No. Well, I don't think so. If we are, this is a very elaborate dream. This is my childhood home.
I feel weak in the brain right now.
I feel weak in the body. Okay. Can you stand up? Can you walk? Are you physically? Are you okay?
Can I?
Not wildly dissimilar from Malcolm. Your legs feel stiffer. They feel like a tree trunk rather than the supple branch.
So very stable.
Stable, but rigid.
So I stand tall
Yeah.
and strong,
You would struggle to sit quickly at this point.
but my roots are shallow and I topple.
Alright, so I'm going to, if he topples, I'm going to grab him and try and support him and try and hold him up.
Sure. Yeah, you can do so.
Maybe you better...
Where do your hands fall?
How much taller are you than me?
Must be the
It'll
same.
be on your sheet.
It'll be on my sheet.
Be on your sheet.
Well, Thorin is pretty tall.
Yeah, pretty tall.
No, Malcolm's,
Oh.
Malcolm's not tall.
6 foot.
6 foot.
A bit taller than
I'd call
me.
that short, actually.
Okay, so we'll sit back down in the chair for a minute while we try and figure out what's going on here, if you want to.
I am. I'm already down.
Right.
I've done it at such speed.
Incredible, I don't know how he does that. Right, while I'm trying to collect my thoughts, I'm going to have a look in this box next to him.
Sure.
Try and figure out what's going on.
So as you look at this chest, you don't really remember this one. It's reasonably it's kind of a metal chest. It's just not one you remember at all. But it's locked. there's a simple keyhole there. It's locked.
Right.
I got.
I'm going to look around, see if there's any sign of the obvious sign of a key lying around anywhere.
Sure. Yeah. Give me an investigation roll.
Roll the dice. Right on.
That's a 6.
It was in your hand the whole time.
This is +2 is 8.
You do not find a key.
Do not find a key. Excellent. Brilliant.
What's in the chest?
I have no idea.
And where are the others?
I equally have no idea. I don't really know where we are. I mean, it looks like everything says this is my childhood home, the village that I grew up in, but I haven't been here for a lifetime.
Is it a nice village?
Yes. I'm trying to be delicate about it, but
Are there many humans here?
yes, not many elves. Yeah, it's not an enlightened society, if you remember. I don't know what to do here. I'm going to go downstairs and try and figure out what's going on here.
I'm just gonna. Can I reach the chest from my seat?
You can. Yeah. It's right next to where you're sat.
Can I slam a fist on the top of it?
You certainly can. Yeah. There you go. There's a slight metallic sound.
Ooh. Did you hear that?
Sounded like somebody hitting a chest with a fist.
No, it was a metallic sound.
And a metallic sound.
Boom, the Beatles.
This is one of your human treasures.
Well, I don't know, because it's locked and I can't get in it.
As you stood looking at the chest, for a moment you hear the sound, the scrabbling sound from the other side. From the far, if you imagine Thorin is at one end of this smallish attic room, only 15-20 feet probably, and at the other end there's this scrabbling sound, and then just very quickly you see a very small little creature, and then a second one pop their heads up and look at you. They've got pointed ears, quite long, long narrow faces, and they look kind of sprightly, impish, small little characters, thin, narrow, and as they look at you, they turn back, they look each of you dead in the eyes, and they giggle, and they proceed to smash the little window right next to you, hold up your pack, and jump out. Laughing, and as they jump out you see the packs going with them and them looking right at you. They never break eye contact with you, chuckling, these impish little thin characters, and they back out of the house holding your packs.
I've gone mad. That's the only explanation for all of this. I've gone completely insane. And
Was that your pet?
No, I have
Your
no
childhood
idea.
pet?
No idea what. No, I think you should stay here. I'm going to go and see. I'm going to go outside.
Okay. So you're descending the wooden ladder. So as you descend the wooden ladder, what are you doing, Thorin?
Some Tai Chi.
Okay, so you're waiting up there as instructed and doing some Tai Chi. That's fine. So as you descend down to the bottom of the ladder, you just get to the very bottom of the ladder, and that comes out by your parents' door, and just as you do so, your parents' door opens, and you're greeted by
a dog.
Dog.
He's 2 foot tall,
Right.
standing in a humanoid stance, with a 5 foot broadsword hanging over his shoulder. He's holding it in one paw.
I've gone mad. I've gone. Something's happened. I finally snapped. I got killed, and I've come back from the dead, and I've gone mad. Who are you? Why are you in my parents' bedroom? And who are you?
I heard a ruckus. Do you need some help?
Thorny, you can probably hear this. So up to you if you want to, what you want to do.
So I'm gonna just.
Doggy!
Does he need some help? Big sword over his shoulder.
What colour is this dog?
So this is a. Let me give him your description. Although he's quite clearly a dog, he comfortably stands in a humanoid stance. Modest 2 foot tall, he is not imposing, but sports a lean body that is quick and dexterous. Black, grey, curly hair is broken by a white stripe from mouth to chest. Large floppy ears frame a short snouted face with button nose and scrappy beard. Large brown eyes peer out from an intrusive fringe, showing a friendly, inquisitive demeanour.
I know a fella like that.
A little fella there.
I know a fella like that.
Over one shoulder he hefts a great sword, almost comically large for his size. The nicks and scrapes in the blade suggest it's seen much use over time. He's only wearing one notable piece of clothing, which is a brown neckerchief stitched with gold symbols and patched with greasy marks around his neck.
Greasy dog.
Who are you?
Me? I'm Felix Fernite. You've probably heard of me. I'm an esteemed fighter and hero.
Excellent. Great. Foreigner, would you like to come down and meet the dog?
I'm skeptical. It speaks common.
Common as muck.
Apparently, yes. Apparently, I'm having a conversation with a bipedal
A
dog. with a
common
sword.
is unnatural. Alright. I go back.
I wish I could do that.
I think you've got a pest problem.
I have actually. These two little goblin-y things have just stolen our packs and run out of the house. And really, I should go after them, but
You're having a conversation with a dog.
I'm having a conversation with a dog who is in my parents' bedroom. Is there anybody else in there with you?
No.
Right. Okay.
So you can see round him a little bit as you're in the doorway. It's familiar. You see the maple dresser that your parents used to have with a little splash of white paint still staining the front leg from your half-assed decorating. You see, you can see.
Is that in the backstory? Because you've gone deep.
Deep.
You see, you can probably also just about make out this large picture above this tin bucket of your smiling mother. It was always above, hanging in the wall. Your kind-hearted father and a young Malcolm. It half obscures the patch of wall which you promised you'd one day finish painting.
I was only borrowing the bed. It's all good. There's only a little hair.
That's fine. That's fine.
What were your parents' names, Mal?
Mum and Dad.
Write that down.
It was always meant to be.
I'm having a hard time dealing with all of this. I'm going to go downstairs. Go downstairs, slowly, one step at a time, as a man waking from a dream into a nightmare would slowly go down the stairs, one step at a time.
What are you two doing?
I'll come down, but I'm on guard.
Okay.
Well, Felix will be intrigued by seeing the two of you. I have reason to believe that a little gnome lives here. Have you seen a little gnome?
No.
No.
There's a gnome.
Zolan the gnome?
Zolan's here.
He's a famous artificer.
He's here.
Well, I've seen him around, yeah.
You
Before I went to bed.
You haven't seen a big, tall blue elf?
No.
Okay.
I've never seen a tall blue elf in my life.
Okay. Zolan's here. Foreigner's here.
Well, if he's not in here, he must be around town. So I'm probably just gonna
Okay,
go that way.
Come.
Nice to meet you. I'm just gonna head on out and just starts slinking away.
Okay.
I'll see you in a little while.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. I'll probably catch up with you later, seeing as we appear to be living in the same house now.
So,
Just everyone scratching heads.
so the three of you exit Malcolm's home as you walk through, descend the stairwell, and out the front door of your family home. You return to the streets of Wick, very similar to as you remember them, but there are some changes. It's not identical to how you remember, but
So I
yeah.
haven't. Okay. The first thing I'm going to try, looking around me, the first thing I'm going to try and establish, I haven't gone back in time.
You haven't gone back in time,
This is-
so you can certainly. I mean, again, yeah. Give me an insight roll if you want to look for things that would indicate that.
Can you turn the music on?
Yes, we're a little loud.
Yeah, I'm trying to establish whether I'm in the village now, or I've somehow been transported back to my childhood, and I'm at some point going to bump into my mother and
No
father.
problem. Yeah, you give me.
Just that. Just a bit.
Jump to us.
That's +2, so that is 16.
Do it on the Josh. Do it on the TV. Sorry, do it on the.
Oh, you said that was the last time you were going to call him Josh.
We bloody got it.
Yeah, on the side. Otherwise, it'll affect the output. Yeah, there you go. Something like that. Lovely. We'll nail the audio. Get it. So as you investigate the area, did you roll insight?
Yeah,
16 after modifiers.
16.
Yeah.
14.
There are indicators that there's nothing that indicates you've gone back in time. It looks more like things have changed. Buildings look familiar, look a little older, maybe have been redesigned a bit. There's some areas in particular which strike you straight away. Thank you. First of all, in the centre of it's the first episode. Be forgiving. In the centre. Oh, we're good. Okay, you got it. In the centre.
Disadvantage on volume changes.
I'm just going to keep that, Jack.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. You're sound engineer now. So in the centre of the town, where once there was simple market stalls, maybe some flower beds. There's a lot of these slabs all across the ground on this town square that your house came off of, or this a town circle, if you will. And in the centre now appears to be this large wooden pole. Atop it's this flaming torch, which never used to be there, which sits above this somewhat large bell, which is standing on a sort of an H frame hanging from this frame. When I say fairly large, it's a few foot across and a few foot high. Not huge, but definitely a centre point of the village that didn't used to be there. There's other things that you notice on that weren't there. Look, most is what was there before. The same buildings, the same formation of the town centre. This bell strikes you straight away. You notice at the edge of the town, as you look into the horizon, as you look around you, there's quite a number, maybe 15, 20 of these quite tall, 5 foot tall, unmarked stones standing freely at the edge, like markers at the edge of the town, secured into the dirt. They're spaced evenly, but it's a very strange spacing, sort of to the entrance of the towns. They just weren't there before, and they're very, very notable to you. Sort of standing upright there. You also notice, quite evidently, lots and lots, I say lots and lots, a number, probably maybe 10 or slightly fewer, people dressed in white, long white robes, gold trim all around these robes. Some of them are hooded. They're not necessarily standard, it's not like a very fixed regimented uniform, but there's definitely a colour scheme. You know, they're all very much wearing these bright white coats. They look to be the human or elf, it's not always straight away obvious. And so yeah, some of them have the hoods up, they're all sort of walking quietly, there's nothing raucous going on. Some of them are walking in twos, some by themselves, some sort of sat by themselves. But I mean, that's very notable. You know, this didn't used to happen here in Wick. It used to be a somewhat normal human town until obviously the elves started to come through. Now, one thing that does draw your attention as well, aside from all of this, is a small gnomish looking character called Zolan. Zolan, what are you up to?
Going through the bins.
Bins?
Through the bins. Through the trash, most probably.
Zolan?
Little legs. Out of the trash, digging.
I recognise those galoshes, those very small galoshes. Zolan?
The legs would probably just stop. You can hear the rustling. They're just thinking in the bin.
Zolan!
And as you look across there, you see all three of these. You see Malcolm, Thorinir, and this small dog-like creature, about probably slightly smaller than yourself.
Will I be damned?
Nolan!
I told you he was here.
Did I know that Thorinir was tied up?
Did you know I was tied up?
Did I know he was tied up?
No, you don't know that.
I didn't know that. Blimey. Will I be damned?
Okay.
You okay?
No. Well, yes, ish, I think. I feel a little bit ropey, but what's going on? What
day is today?
Where? yeah.
It's Christmas Day.
You wish it was Christmas Day.
We're in Gold Spell. So Gold Spell is we have 2 seasons in Asher. Gold Spell and Grey Spell. Gold Spell is warm. Grey Spell is not. We're in Gold Spell.
It's a lot like England.
Yeah, pretty much. So gold spell lasts only a week.
And you miss most of it.
At the
because
end
you're
of
at work.
August, you're like, what?
So, how did we get here?
Well, that's a story, that is. That's a long story. That was,
Not going anywhere.
I walked you.
we... it's probably not a place to have that conversation out here,
Okay.
in all honesty. We probably won't go back to the house, because there's
house.
fanatics around here that ask lots of questions.
Right. On the subject of the house,
Yes,
that house,
yes.
my parents'
Your house.
How? Okay. Right. Okay. So we'll let's go back inside, and I need to know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm
Something-
gonna
I mean,
start heading towards. I've got a handful of old discarded food. Going through, like in outside, there's I guess some form of not a barracks, but there are organised groups here at which, and I've gone to the local organised groups, and I've been taking old food out of the bins.
Felix licks his lips.
Yeah,
Any vegetables there?
Zolan looks
Bracken? Spare bracken?
maybe. Well, we'll have a look through the plunder in a minute. But yeah, he looks pretty terrible. It's been was once was a portly gnome. He's a very slight, and he looks like he's aged 100 years. You wouldn't believe he could age another 100 years, but he looks like he's aged another 100 years. And yeah, well,
let's go.
I'm gonna head
Let's
back to the house.
Bring your loot.
Is it cool if I I join you guys?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, absolutely.
Actually,
We
I'm here to talk to you, but it got away. It's fine.
there's another one missing. Where's Clara?
He's at the house. I don't know what that voice was. It will change until something settles. He's at the house.
He's in the house.
Oi.
Let's go back to the house. We'll go back to the house. I mean, I'm rapidly devolving into a daze here. The whole world has turned upside down.
I'm going to
now.
start walking if you just want to hang around. It's fine.
Yeah.
He just slips back.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Come join the fun.
Go.
Back to the house then.
You return to the
My
house.
parents' house.
So you got an arm of thrown out.
Like chicken legs with no
Yeah.
meat on them,
Yeah, like
old
all
vegetable
rolled up.
peels,
Yeah.
and from
Walking
scrapings from
carefully, you
plates
choke.
into you throw it on the compost.
Yeah.
It's just slops of
That's-
soups and
That's dog food,
it's
mate.
pretty much You'd love this.
Fine. So you return to Malcolm's house. You settle in. You return upstairs, or do you stay upstairs?
Well, we go in the downstairs room, in the living room.
Sure.
You have the kitchen.
Assuming
Yeah,
there's
so
a
you've
toilet.
got a kitchen come sort of living quarters
I'm
area.
assuming there's a table and we're sitting around the table.
And the furnishings are the same as you left them all those years ago.
This table. What's it look like?
Rustic dining table that you'd find in the ordinary townhouse.
Nice. Felix will walk on over to the table. Put his what clearly is a very heavy great sword on top of the
Can
table.
you actually use that thing? I mean,
It's incredible. It's very heavy.
it looks quite effective. Can you use it?
I'm a skilled fighter in combat and warfare against creatures, great and small, magical and non-magical. I'm a pretty big deal. And he'll climb up on one of the chairs and then climb up onto the table and then just lie down. I've got my place.
Definitely got that. Okay. You said Clara.
Clara's here, right? Yeah. He's upstairs.
I'm going to shout his name. Claro! He always answers.
Okay. From what I'm assuming I don't remember there being more than 2 rooms upstairs.
The main two rooms are the 2 bedrooms upstairs.
And he wasn't in the bedroom that I was in. Was he in the room that you were in?
I was listening to the music.
We'll listen to this back and the music's sweet all over.
Up, down, left, right.
Sorry.
What did you say?
Um,
I can't hear you through all his hair.
was
The
Clara
music.
in the room upstairs?
I've never met a Claro.
Okay.
Why don't you go look? You're bigger
Oh.
than I am.
I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to look for Clara
Okay.
in my parents' bedroom and yeah, up in the loft if I have to.
Okay, sure. So you start in the bedroom.
Yep, I'll start in the bedroom.
I really appreciate your hospitality.
You're welcome.
Is anyone else
Please.
going up with him, or
Please make
I'm gonna-
yourselves at home.
I'm going to head up and declare a warning. Of a void-like sphere around the feet of Clara, which not young at all, old Zolan has been too afraid to touch. He's very much not left Clara alone, but there's been probably something the size of Zolan's fist, which would be a lot smaller for you lot, yeah, of a void energy, very similar to in the Curse of the Butthole previous episodes. You know at
Sure.
which
One swear.
Butthole?
That's 2, you got to say it twice!
You know when we was fighting Void, we were going to assume we were fighting Void. We don't know what happened in there, and there was the power struggle with Clara at one point with the orb. Looks like a miniature version of that.
And Claro's got that.
Well, it's in Clara's room. Yeah, I've been going to pick it up. No, I can't go near it.
Okay.
It gives me the willies.
Lead on.
I'm not leading on. I will lay you directions to the room at which Clara is
I'm
in.
not leading on. Have you learnt nothing about
No.
Okay,
I'll lead
on. You
Not-
tell me where I'm supposed to go because I'm kind of getting to my wit's end here.
We believe it's the other room, right?
Yeah, so you're heading upstairs
Yep.
to your parents' room.
Okay.
You still down here.
I am going to look at you and then follow Malcolm.
His little eyes follow you around the room.
Shifty eyes,
Yeah.
unsure.
Pretty weird.
Okay, so the 3 of you.
Well, we've got long steps away. Well, not breaking up on that.
The 3 of you ascend the staircase, Malcolm in front, back to your parents' room. As you walk in, you see your mother and father's bed. You see the things I described before: the dresser with the painted leg.
Did you leave the food downstairs?
I was going to head to the kitchen and put it on the side, so yeah, I'm not going to hurry. Yes, it's going to be downstairs somewhere.
That's gone.
How much of a small dog eat?
Yeah, you see your mother and father's wardrobe with a missing door, the clothes rail there's bare. There's another tin bucket in the room, just like the one you sort of sloshed over with the rag next to it. The painting of your mother and father, the first time you've seen either of them, even a depiction of them in however many years it's been. Quite emotional. And you see this bed, the sheets clearly been in some way lived in, someone's been in there, and
Dog hero for everything.
you, and that's the first impression. It is your parents' room, not far off as was like.
No sign of Clara.
I mean, he's not there at first glance. You're welcome to make an investigation roll.
Oui?
Were you expecting Claro to be in here?
Oui. Was I expecting Clara to be there? I would have, yeah. Yeah.
Where?
Bed.
In the bed.
You know,
I'm going
This-
to investigate the bed.
Anything particularly you're looking for?
Claro.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Evidence
you
that
don't need to make a roll.
Any evidence that Claro has
Claro
been
is
here?
not in the bed. Okay. Evidence has been there. Make a survival roll.
Survival. That is 10. Plus 2 is 12.
12. There are hairs in the bed that are different colours. So it looks like there's been more than one person in this bed. Whether it was Claro, your survival roll wasn't good enough to tell you.
And you say he was here. When was the last time you saw him?
Very peculiar day today. You're telling me? Did you know, Malcolm?
It's expensive.
It is a table, yeah, sorry. How long has this been going on? It's been 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, somewhere between the two. You might have lost
I was
track.
going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing changed, Malcolm, for 2 years. 2 years I've tended to you all, rummaged through the bins, eaten scraps. Malcolm, I'm sorry I've stolen money from you.
Okay.
It was for survival.
Fine. Okay.
Today is a
2 years.
most peculiar day.
I had 5 pieces of currency.
You've still got them.
Oh, great.
I only stole from mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Were you aware that he was up in the loft?
Yeah, why'd you tie me up?
Was I? I don't know. No, I don't think no.
Donnie was
knew-
in the bed last.
So
Was he in the
hang
bed?
on.
Yeah.
I've been unconscious for 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
2 years?
Ooh. You all have been unconscious for a couple of years.
And so Clara's been in this room equally as out of it as me,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been looking after us.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been up in the loft?
Why don't I have any calf muscles?
I haven't been feeding you. I wasn't unaware. I was none the wiser that you were here. I didn't know Thorinir was here for 2 years.
You did.
I did. Oh right, that's all right then. I have been feeding you.
He was in the room.
How do you
He
get
was in
tied
this
up?
room we're in.
You tied him up.
You didn't know?
So
That wasn't the case.
But he's got no memory of having been in the room.
Ask him.
Have you? What's the last thing you remember before meeting me in the loft?
Ow! My ears! I can't hear you! Oh, I can hear you. So it's just a moment of really loud sounds. A bell? A bell. It's still ringing a little bit.
Which bell did you hear?
We were on a cart, over the bell,
Loud bell
friggin' loud.
or the continuous bell? Was that
Like a clang, 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 or
Just
a
a
bang?
big bang and then I was out. I don't know what you guys heard. Shocked me.
yeah.
I just remember some sort of massive shockwave, and it could have been a bell, it could have been anything. I was pretty much out of it by that point.
It was the most catastrophic thing you've ever seen.
And I've been unconscious for 2 years, and so has Clara.
Everybody. We went into the gnome line on the hunt for Void, and I'm sorry, because Felix is with us, isn't he? He's downstairs, yeah. And you know what happened. It happened. With Nolus, Benji, and Void, and everybody.
I remember that,
And the explosion.
and then we just. How did we get back here?
The weasel. The explosion was catastrophic. Heard throughout Asher. These lunatics on the outside.
The ones in the white.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Crazy people. Love bells. Love bells. On arrival, to wit, they rung a bell for 10 days straight. Oh, you were lucky you were sleeping through it. 'Cause, oh my. Well, the once passive Zolan nearly brought a fist to somebody. Nearly. It was hell. You think the butthole was hell? 10 days of the bell is hell.
I'm just imagining he's like the worst twitchy curtain neighbour. It's just annoying him so much, but he just will not pass. He's just like,
For 2 years, it has been very twitchy. Yeah, very, very twitchy neighbour.
So this weasel brought us back
Yes.
here.
There was an explosion, and we were found at the mouth of the gnome line. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
That creepy town with
Yeah.
it was found by the weasel from at the edge of the gnome line. Everything obliterated. A shockwave has just leveled trees, and it is.
How many?
It was. I could not count it. It was as far as the eye could see in every direction.
Just a bit of scrap from the bin. Carrot
What was
peel.
it? Yeah. I can purify this for you if you wish. Make it edible.
Tastes good.
Alright, tastes
And
good.
what has happened since then? I mean, okay, we've been hiding out here, or you've been hiding out here while we recovered.
Haven't been so much of a hiding, of rather just keeping my head down. The population of this town is, as said earlier on, is pretty much all of these fanatics called the Augurs of Nell. People that speak of destruction and the end of the world and demons and
Okay, do they know that that's all true?
crazy people.
That this happened, or is it just some?
I tend to not talk to them. If you was to equate this into a real life situation, you know,
Yeah.
if you'd approached a Scientologist, right,
Yeah.
and expressed interest, you know they would never leave you alone, right? You know that you're going to get pamphlets and leaflets and everything. They are, as far as Zolan concerns, they are like that fanatical about
Right.
very much. Had conversations with some people, but
many doorstep conversations.
Mm.
No, thank you. No, thank. No. Right.
Yeah.
I get the gist.
yeah.
Okay. So, when was the last time you saw Claro in here?
This morning, yeah. I'm very surprised that all of you are awake. I've done the usual tending to people.
I'm
Yes.
not going to ask.
It is exactly what you think, yes.
I have a very strict bathroom routine.
So do I. I
Um,
know all too well.
okay, so Nollis?
No.
He's
No,
not
no.
here.
No, we didn't. At the entrance of the cave was only the four of us. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't know if he's dead or alive, or
Have not seen him. I would presume dead. I would presume dead. You were there. Do you remember Malcolm?
not really. I was very badly injured, and it looked like he died, but I can't be sure of anything that was going on then. I'm honestly still not quite sure of anything that's going on right now. Okay, so we've got to figure out where Claro is, who tied you up.
Zolan. He's never liked me.
Did you tie
Always
him up?
known it.
Did I tie him up? I don't believe so. No.
Have you got
No.
a key on you by any chance? As would unlock a
Do I have a key on me? No.
What about new beard?
The lockpick.
I was going to say, what about your skills
From the
as a
beard.
lockpick? Would you be able, by any chance, to open a locked box?
I can try.
Come with me. Going up into the loft. Okay. And pointing to said locked box. Can you open that?
What does it look like?
So as you climb
Apart from a
into this
locked
attic,
box.
you
yeah.
notice
Have I
this.
been in the attic? I've probably ventured up.
probably
Yeah, I'd have
ventured
ventured up there.
Although you're
Boring.
quite it's a little dark.
Yeah.
There's a-
Floorboards
Have you-
creaky.
Have you been up in the attic before?
Probably, but yeah,
This is
for a
where you
peek.
tied me up.
And I liked it.
Did you notice him sat next to this box?
No.
Or
No.
something covered with a cloth sat next to this box in that chair?
Thorinir was in bed. Again, the morning rounds of cleaning and washing and linen and.
You wash my clothes? 100 years. This has never been washed.
Oh, I've washed everything. I've washed everything.
100 years that's never been washed.
So,
Well, it's about time, isn't it?
so in the last few hours, somebody has gone to all the trouble of dragging Thorinir up into the loft, tying him up, gagging him. Claro has gone missing,
There's a dog downstairs.
and there's a dog downstairs with a bloody great broadsword.
Oh yes, what? We've met outside. Sorry, it's been a strange day today. Strange for us all.
Stranger by the minute.
How? When did you wake up, Malcolm?
Only a few minutes ago. Literally, when I came downstairs, I found Thorinir, I found the dog, and came outside, and that's when we found you. I was minutes.
Blimey.
Are you all up in the attic at this point? Are you all,
I guess apart from Felix.
apart from
The
Felix?
moment.
Okay.
If I whistle, would you
Eating
come?
your bin scraps.
That's dinner, that is. Those bin scraps. I can attempt to, after giving it a good scout for enemies, always on the lookout.
Give me a perception roll.
for enemies. Do you want passive perception or do you want just
No,
normal
if you're
perception?
actively doing it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a good old look.
You're
What
actively
dice?
perceiving.
Oh wow, somebody other than me that's going to roll the dice.
Oh, not brilliant. Perception 7. I've got my glasses.
No, nothing's up here.
I'll let Malcolm lead.
Okay.
Can you open the box?
I can make an attempt. to pull out my little thieves' tools. One of the things I haven't sold, I'll have you know. It's been an expensive time. Shall I me to...
Have you seen my weapons, by the way?
Have I seen his weapons? Put them in the closet? I haven't sold any of these.
They were, yeah, everything was around. You had their packs all nicely together.
Oh.
Oh, we saw some little things.
Little, like,
Like you, little smaller.
Like
some
gnomes?
Well, no, big ears and
Giggly.
I don't.
giggly.
I haven't seen anything. I haven't been here for 2 years. But I've seen.
They stole our packs and ran out that window.
There has been. You'll have picked this up at
Yeah.
some point. No, give me a history check actually.
Do 12. No, it's not. It's a 6. 9.
9.
I love the concept of a history check. Every time someone asks me how I'm doing, I
Do
always feel like a roll a history check.
I get
Yeah.
advantage on history checks? No, I don't.
No, what you actually get a disadvantage due to your level 1
Oh,
exhaustion.
schnizzle, you're
Due
right.
to malnourishment.
Well, does 9 get me there?
So everyone is getting, apart from
Yeah,
Felix,
you're
is
right.
getting disadvantage on ability checks
He really
until
isn't.
Yeah.
you have removed that exhaustion.
It's a
So-
9.
You've been feeding us as much as yourself.
The main priority has been the health of my friends.
You're starting to get forgiven for tying me up for 2 years.
I didn't tie you up.
So your check was
A 9. No.
after,
Yeah.
with disadvantage?
Yeah, with this.
Yeah. It's enough. It's a very simple log.
Ooh.
You have thieves' tools.
Yeah.
Because you have your pack,
Yeah, that's something I haven't sold.
and you add your proficiency bonus on that dex check. Yeah. Cool. I'm remembering how this works. So as you open the chest,
Did I? No, I just rolled for a history check, didn't I?
That was a history check.
Yeah, I haven't rolled.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was your lock
No,
check.
I haven't
My
rolled for a
mistake.
lock. Yeah,
Your
what
his-
is,
That was a history check.
I lost my
to,
train of thought completely.
what is my proficiency for?
Smashed it with the
About,
history check.
He was asking about the
What?
little
What?
goblin creature.
Sleight of hand?
No, that's fine. No, we'll do one thing at a time. We'll address the thing you actually rolled.
That was
and we'll move
that
on.
was a history check for what I cannot remember.
It's a very simple lock. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You assume. You think about 9 should do it.
Yeah, lovely.
No.
No, on.
9's not enough.
That's not enough. So I shall roll.
To remember the goblin.
If that's what you're doing.
I now will roll.
Yeah,
Do you want me?
yeah.
Do you
Now
want
you can roll.
sleight of hand? Or do you want me to? What's my
So
modifier
it's
for?
Dex plus proficiency if you're using a thieves' tools and you're proficient with the thieves'
I
tools.
can't remember what proficiency is, Jack.
I think it's
You'll-
like,
it'll be
plus
under your
2 or plus
tools.
3 at the top.
You'll have a tools.
Just my
section.
dex, my standard dex proficiency.
So, no, yeah, it's normal,
Okay, yeah.
normal dexterity, dexterity roll, and you add your proficiency bonus if you're proficient with thieves' tools because you'll be using the thieves' tools.
I'm gonna roll two
Roll a
dice.
dice.
I'm gonna roll 2 dice. See what happens. They're both 19s. I mean, it doesn't
That
matter. I
will
don't
be
even
enough.
need to remember what proficiency is. I'm
Yeah.
surely
It's
I'm through.
literally
Yeah.
in the middle of your character sheet.
Is it?
Proficiency bonus.
Would it be that number on the top?
I don't know if you're using D&D Beyond. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
So as you open the box, now we've rolled for the correct thing that I thought you were rolling for.
Can you imagine?
Folded up.
The thrice
It's literally an Amazon box.
As you open this metal
It's
box,
amazing.
in,
It has been though, right?
yeah. It's got Jeff's signature on it and everything.
in this dim light,
The provision. Oh, it's at the top.
your fridge is
Yeah.
baked.
Oh, I've got it now. Oh, I've got it. It
You
says
remember D&D.
it says proficiency right there. So what is it? Plus
Practice,
3.
yeah,
You are malnourished.
Yeah.
Eat those
Oh
grapes.
my days.
That's probably the first thing.
And eat something that toffee coin.
That's probably the first thing you've lockpicked in 2 years, so you know it's
Wow.
understandable it went that badly. But we got through.
Everyone's good, yeah.
It contains a book. Which is the first thing that you see, and then something else is covered in sort of a greyish sheet, just like a mini throw or something, just placed over something else. So yeah, there's a book. With something else underneath it.
It's covered in dust. Can I do the thing at which you blow the book? It was ancient.
It looks
Dust.
quite worn, but it's actually not very dusty. It's been, it's been in a sealed chest.
I'm going to shut the lid on it then. I don't care about this book.
God, this.
Da, da, da.
I'm going to open the box again and lift the book out of the box.
Sure. And you're going to read the book, or are you looking at what's underneath it?
I'm going to hand the book to Zolan.
Ooh. I'm going to put it back in the box.
Don't you dare!
If it is not dusty enough. No, I'll read it, of course, yes. Sorry.
So hand the book to Zolan, and I'm going to take the sheet off the contents of the book.
Okay. So you take the book. Yeah, it's quite a worn, weathered book. Looks like it's, as you sort of just quickly glance at it,
No.
looks like it's sort of been hand scrawled in some kind of ink.
Please
Yeah,
read it.
lots of handwritten notes
Yeah.
of some description.
Cool.
And they're dated, so it's a diary.
Okay.
You work that out pretty quickly.
I'll close it, yeah. I won't be intrusive. I would. If I was, I noticed that, I'll close it.
Sure thing.
Am I up there?
You can be up there.
Let's have a look.
Well, I'll be on with it.
You try and take the book from him.
Yeah.
Secret
So you can
diary
sleight
of
hand roll, and it'll be contested against Zolan's passive perception.
See, I remember how these things
What about Zolan's strength?
Okay, we got 15.
That's higher than Zolan's passive perception, I assume.
11.
Yeah. So
Make it all
you
yonk.
successfully take it from him without him noticing.
Yoink.
And I am going to go yonk. And he's not going to notice. I'm going to be like,
Except for you have disadvantage because you're malnourished.
Boy!
So it went well, but then you have to roll again.
okay,
For disadvantage.
it's been 2 years, and I'm
Yeah.
just
I've
remembering you
released.
have to roll that twice.
Got 3
And it's the worst of the two.
Yeah.
It's 14.
What flavour the cringe?
That'll still be enough.
What flavour we got?
Sour cream.
Sour cream.
Yeah!
They're
It's
really
the
nice.
worst, it's the worst part
They're-
of Christmas
they're,
is sour cream Pringles everywhere.
They're quite
You take.
mellow flavoured.
You successfully take the book. You haven't noticed. He's managed to take it from you. Malcolm, you look back in the metal chest.
Yeah, I will pull the blanket away
As you pull
and reveal.
the blanket away, it reveals a quite remarkable weapon.
I say
Um,
that's a remarkable looking weapon.
It's. Bear with me.
Have you got it here?
Is it a 5-foot broadsword?
Right here. It.
Broad.
Fire of wrath.
It's an immaculate, polished sickle. Sort of not a full-length one, just a hand-held sickle. And at the other end of the sickle, at the handle of this sickle, is a chain. And attached to the end of this chain, and it's a long chain, it's all reeled up, and as you sort of unreel this chain,
It's a very ghastly weapon, isn't
at
it?
the other end is a very heavy, a good few pounds, iron weight at the other end.
Yeah, man.
What the Lord, Malcolm, are you doing with such a hideous weapon?
I've got no idea. I've never seen this before in my life, and I certainly don't think it was ever in my family's house.
You can write it down if you're deciding to take it
Yeah.
as a kusarigama.
That's
K-U-S-A-R-I-G-A-M-A.
you know, like keeping the momentum up,
Oh,
swinging it
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
That's such
Okay.
a pacifist monk's weapon.
Holm would be proud.
Kusarigama. Yeah.
Okay.
Both cuts and smashes.
Picture it as a chain sickle.
Yeah. I think.
Chain sickle.
Um,
That sounds so distraught.
What's her name? In yellow jumpsuit. Didn't she use one? In
Big Bird.
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill.
Yeah, perhaps something similar. Yeah.
She uses one. Well, one of them uses it. It's
Yeah.
you kick it and you spin
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Was there one in Kung Pao? You must have watched Kung Pao.
No.
Have you not watched Kung
Let's
Pao?
play D&D and not talk about sex.
Okay. Is this the sort of weapon that I would be proficient in or able to use?
You're not sure.
Ooh.
This weapon requires some kind of base level identification to gain its benefits from. The way we do that in D&D is either through an identified spell, if anyone were to have one, or through study during a rest period. So you'd need to spend time not resting, instead studying
Yeah. Okay.
this equipment to understand it.
Okay. Well, I will. I'll hold on to it for now. How long is the chain on it? I suppose we're looking at. I'm thinking about 5
Are you
foot.
stretching it out as far as you can?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 10 foot.
Oh, okay. Heavy. So, heavy to carry, heavy to hold.
Not super heavy. It feels surprisingly lightweight actually. Surprisingly.
So I'm going to wrap it around me with the blade and the weight hanging down by my side, so that it's a comfortable way of holding on to it for now. Is there anything else in the box?
The rest of the box appears to be empty, and she's removed that and the book.
Okay.
I'm going to go to give Malcolm the book.
Okay.
You don't have the book.
No, exactly. Yeah. Huh?
What's in the book, Zolan?
Looks like one of your diaries, parents, somebody's. I don't know. I didn't read it, and I've lost it.
Where's the book?
It's been a short day, but also a very long day, and I had it, and now I don't, Malcolm. Okay.
I'm under the
It's
sheet, on the seat, and I'm reading it.
Sorry there.
All you can hear is from under the sheet.
What's in the book, Thorinir?
What's in the book, DM?
There's scrawlings, handwriting, quite messy handwriting, notes. They're all dated. Yeah, it is a diary entry, but it's quite long. Like it was going to take a good hour to kind of read
what
it.
kind of paper quality are we looking at?
The paper quality is you describe as medium.
Well, then I've just kind of like skimmed through. I've kind of skimmed the first page.
Yeah.
Have I seen whose it is? Who wrote in this diary?
It's M&M's. It's the lyrics
You
to
could,
Stan.
depending how quickly you do so. You're
I've got night vision under the dark vision under the sheet.
Night vision.
if you spend
Wow.
if you spend a minute or more reading, are you going to spend that long?
So I did while they were
Okay.
rummaging.
You're somewhat confident that it is somebody with the surname Lowborn.
I don't know any lowborns. Mark Lowborn? I'm going to throw the sheet off, like, what a terrible book, and then pass it to Malcolm.
Right. Is this written by me? Is this my diary?
No, you open it up and you instantly recognise it as your father's handwriting.
Okay. I was unaware that he kept a diary. I'm assuming. Okay, I'll hold on to that for now. And so, looking around the loft, there's no sign of anybody else having been here. Any sign of Claro having been here.
Can you give me a survival roll?
Oh, it's a natural 20!
Hey.
Hoo-yah, hoo-yah.
Uh,
This time.
Natural 20.
Plus
okay.
2.
Sure. So there seems to be within the dust on the floor, because I mean this room is obviously dusty. Within the dust on the floor, there's very clearly some drag marks with your excellent roll, whereby something heavy has been dragged from the ladder to the area in which you found Thorinir. The only other, I guess, tracks you can find as such are very, very small, little tiny footprints, much smaller than, say, Zolan.
That I assume belong
The
to
paw
little
prints?
Dog prints.
They don't look cloven or hooved. They don't look hooved.
You go.
or
Right.
pawed. they look.
Dogs don't have hooves.
I got the wrong word. What's the equivalent word of cloven for dogs?
Padded.
Padded. They don't look like padded prints. They look like small bare footprints, like humanoid footprints, but we're talking like size, child-sized.
So Zolan has been up here.
Zone's got quite big feet, actually, hasn't
Wow.
he? Yeah.
I'm remarkably hairy, I know.
Okay, so there's no evidence, given that it was such an incredibly good dice roll, there's no evidence that Claro has been here. And there's nothing else in the room that looks like it shouldn't be here. Nothing else that is not normal.
Give me an investigation.
That's a 16 plus 2 is 18. I am steaming these dice rolls at the moment.
Come down.
Sure.
But you're stuck in a loft.
I shush. I'm also very confused.
The sheet that was covering Thorinir, apart from some patches of dust on the back, looks pretty clean in comparison to all the other sheets, which look like they have a layer of dust over them.
Everything else has been here for a while. So there's nothing else. Okay.
You now have a smashed window in your attic.
I also haven't smashed it.
Was it in the attic? Was it the smash window?
Yeah, they smashed a window in the attic and jumped out.
Yeah.
Don't even know what they are.
Oh. You broke your window.
Well, they sort of like green skin, purple skin, blue skin.
It's because it was dim light. It was hard for you to see. You can't make that
I
colour.
don't even know if they were skinned.
Yeah, you can't make that colour in
They're
dim
gonna
light.
be if they don't give me my pack.
I'm
back.
going to do some kind of check with my excellent knowledge of
Yeah.
creatures.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, all things. He's pretty knowledgeable, isn't
Nature. Yeah. Give me a nature roll.
he? Yeah.
MVP.
Ooh, that's actually not one of my good. 12.
12. Kind of like a bit sprightly. You might sort of like you might expect to see something like this in the magical forest. Sort of a little bit, yeah, impish and sprightly, like very small, kind of fey style creature.
This is bad.
Okay. Let's go back downstairs and talk to what's your name?
Felix.
Felix and see if we can figure out what's going on here.
Malcolm,
Yes.
in Clara's room is the orb. The terrifying orb. Is that in there?
I'm assuming no, because investigating the bed and the room, we'd have seen something like that.
You didn't see it during your.
Can I go and poke my head on the way down?
Of course, yeah.
Because from the last I'd seen, I'm going to look where I'd last.
Yeah, it's not there.
Gives me the willies. Shiver down my spine.
So somebody has taken Claro, we can assume, because you'll say he was as unconscious as we were.
Mm.
So either he's woken up and wandered off, or somebody's taken him.
To be honest, Malcolm, I've got no idea who would want to take any of us. We've been living in this town for 2 years, of which
So
it's not a secret that I've been here tending to you people. There's been people knocking at the door every day trying to speak to everybody. You were there when the bell rang. Oh, the bell is always the
So the
bells.
people in the village knew we were here.
I've no idea why
So
anybody now was going to have come and...
Clara must have wandered off by himself then.
I think they've tried to take or restrain the most powerful members of the group.
What's that? I was the only one that could withstand a shock blast, you know.
Yeah, why?
Sounds like a cannonball that flew out of the cave.
Oh. Terrible
That-
hearing.
At this point in time, there is a knock at the door.
Dog starts barking.
And
You
we
start.
we'll use this chance to take a break. Josh, I'm going to need the mouse, please. Unless you can move us onto the art scene. So for those of you who remember, this scene will be very familiar to you. For those of you who are new, we happily, or those of you who are older, we happily accept what we like to call the Dragoony Doodle. All of our fans are known as the Dragoonies, named after one of Darak the Dragoon, who was one of your first.
The last of the dragoons, I'll have you know.
who actually killed Nollis.
Yeah, it was him.
So our fans are known as have coined themselves the Dragoonies, and they send in amazing artwork of all of our stories so far. We would love some new artwork for our new series. It all gets hung on our wall that you see behind Thorinir and Zolan. And we've got lots more space still to put everything up, so we would welcome more submissions.
Sniffing your butt.
We will take. What time are we on? Okay, 1:15. We'll take a 5-minute break. We'll take a 5-minute break. We'll be back with you in 5 minutes. Toilet break, etc. See you in a moment, everyone.
Fizzy words?
Oh, hello everybody. We're back in the room. Thank you for those of you who are still with us. Nice to see lots of people joining. We had a quick look at the chat during the break and saw lots of you there. Hello everybody, lots of friendly names that we know and love.
Dunk.
Just
No love here.
Such violence.
a bit personal. There's a knock at the door. And you guys were heading downstairs at that time.
Yes, we were heading downstairs anyway.
What is Felix doing when the
Excitedly
as the knock is
running
happening?
towards the door.
He is lying down in the exact same position you remember leaving him, but the
All
food
the food is gone.
is laid out on the table, and he's just like. No
Somebody at the door, Felix.
He just kind of looks at the door, looks at you, looks at the door.
Not a guard dog then.
Someone came in, and they ate all your food, and I was like, no, don't eat your food, it's terrible, and then they left. It was me.
Zolan, could you get the door, please?
There's another knock.
Seeing as you've been the one that's been here for answering the door for the last 2
Yeah.
years, could you please answer the door?
Drag my heels. It's been a long day. I'll go to the door.
So you go to the door.
Little reach to the handle.
As you open it, you see a Lanterix.
Oh.
You see one of the who you sort of have been described as one of the augurs wearing white, one of the augurs of now, an all-white robe with this gold embellishment. She's got rather than a robe that comes right the way around. There's some kind of it's tied off and splits at the waist, and she's got this long sort of cotton grey skirt on underneath as well. So it's like almost like a long white trench coat more than a robe, I guess. But it does have a hood, and it is joined completely at the top. She's got a belt, big leather-bound belt, and she's got some books and scrolls and things tied off against it. You obviously have, you know her, and to the rest of you, she's got jet black, shoulder-length hair, quite pretty, quite a dark inset eyes, and a pale face, not as pale as her white robes. She's quite a presence in the room. She walks in and she commands attention, as you look at her. Zolan! Malcolm? Thorinir? She looks at each of you. And she briefly looks at yourself. Are you stood at the moment, or are you lying
She's
down?
lying on it.
Okay.
Like, if you softly just ran an eye over the room,
Just
you
a
just
dog.
think there's a dog lying on the table.
Sure, yeah. So she comes up to each of you, and she comes up to you, and she hugs you, Malcolm. She walks up to you, and she sort of looks at you, and holds your head there just for a moment, and comes over to you, Thorinir, and looks at you too, and sort of just studies you for a second, sort of grabs you by the hands. You're awake!
Apparently. Have we met?
You awoke at the same time?
Did you tie me up?
No. You're tied up?
Could you tie me up?
You...
It took
Did
you
I
like 30 seconds.
Did I say that? Did I say that out loud? Did I say that out loud?
You awoke at the same time?
Yes.
Zolan?
Most bizarre.
This is unbelievable.
Tell me about it. I'm going to beckon her in to close the door.
How are you feeling? What do you remember?
Nothing and awful.
Noise, no calves.
No calves.
No calves. Look! I'm withering away.
Zolan, this is amazing! Should we tell the Maru?
Wait, what?
Are you scared of the Maru?
Well, this is nothing. This isn't a revelation. You're scared of everything.
Oh, but the Maru. Powerful lady. Powerful lady.
She walks over to the door. Who's this? just strokes the top of the head.
He rolls onto his back,
Oh
just curls his legs up.
You sort of tickles
no,
him.
don't do that. Don't do that.
There hasn't been a dog here.
He's cool.
Actually, can you speak?
Oh dear.
Did you speak?
No. Is that weird?
Zolan, is this a trick? Is this one of your contraptions? Like your homunculus?
To go Elizabeth? I'm afraid to say it's not. I've no idea who this little fellow is, but he's somehow made friends with Malkin and Thorinir.
What?
And
You're clearly one of the augurs. You should know who I am. I'm Felix Fernite from Equa. You've probably seen me fight. I'm a pretty big deal.
No. A talking dog.
I mean,
And you're away. None of this makes sense, Zolan.
Oh, good. Somebody else thinks that. Excellent. What's going on here?
Has this just happened?
Just. The other bad news, Claro missing.
What do you mean?
He's in the town, or he's not in bed.
and,
Everybody seems to have awoken.
yeah, and someone came in and they ate the food as well. That was pretty bad. I didn't do it.
What do you mean Clara is missing? And you're alive? And there's a talking dog? This is... She sits down and just, for a moment, just sort of sits back in the chair, sort of flummoxed.
Flummox, that's a very, very, very good
I
word.
think I would offer Elantrix a drink.
Sure.
Sure. While that happens, I'm going to give the nod and the wink to the kitchen.
To the kitchen.
Nod and
Yes.
a wink
Okay.
to the kitchen.
I'll give you a hand.
Thank you.
I'm just blinking back at you, thinking that's what you want.
As we walk into the kitchen, I'm just going to grab him
Yeah.
by the back of his shirt and drag him along behind us.
I'm too big to resist.
Yeah.
Heels scraping along the ground.
Could you just inquire about our new acquaintance, please? I've yet to speak, make yourself acquainted, and
Why is he in the house?
it's a strange day. strange day. 2 minutes. I'll be back with a drink.
I actually let myself
Tea.
in, but it's
Oh,
fine.
yes.
Who are you? Dog?
I'm Felix Fernite of the Equa Fernites.
What are the Equifernites?
They fight in the fighting rings of Equa. You would
In the arena
Yes.
of Equa?
Yes.
You're...
You scrag?
Oh, scragging!
Not
Oh,
professionally.
You're in the other room.
What a great game! I forgot about that.
From the arenas of Equa.
Yes.
And... why are you in Malcolm's house?
I've come here. Don't tell anyone. I've come here to protect the little man. It's a great quest I've been assigned.
And they awake as you arrive.
Yes.
They've been asleep for 2 years.
Well, I was asleep for like 2 hours on the bed upstairs.
And what? And do you know them?
No, I only know the little man.
So you're a friend of Zolan's? He's never spoken of you?
We're gonna be great friends. We're gonna be like the closest friends. I'm probably gonna like save his life at some point. It's gonna be great.
I hope you understand this is incredibly strange and none of your story makes any sense.
Which bit?
Well, why are you here?
To protect the little man.
How did you know he was here?
A guy told me, don't worry about it, the details are really unimportant. I've been sent here to look after the little man. It's gonna be great.
Into the kitchen.
We're going to go into the kitchen. With
In the
the
kitchen.
door to, not close it. You know, I don't want to be like we're trying to exclude you from a conversation. No, we'll include that, but well, you know, want to keep the.
You can describe your childhood kitchen, Malcolm.
It's
dustier than you remember it,
Yes,
but otherwise.
It's
There's some alchemist tools
Apparently
strewn
there's
across
some
some of the
alchemist
tables, some of
tools
the
strewn
alembics
around the
around.
place. It's what you'd expect in a sort of medieval level society kitchen. There's a hand basin. Do we have plumbing in Aqua?
There's a village well.
So there's a hand basin and there's a sort of black iron stove set into one wall. Big table in the centre with a dog shape empty space in the middle of some scraps of food. Across to one side there's a small pantry area.
Is this where you guys have gone? The
Yeah.
pantry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I don't know.
there's various cooking utensils. It's it's basically nothing sets it apart from any sort of village house kitchen.
Other than there's no food.
Other than there's no food apart from the bits scrapped all around the
Yes.
kitchen table. I hope he didn't eat the chicken bones. I don't want to have to give the Heimlich manoeuvre to that dog. So
we've made it in the kitchen, and Thorinir's come willingly, not kicking and screaming. You haven't made an attention, have you?
No.
On the way through. Gonna brief the situation.
come on then.
Bring us in.
Alantrix is she's a very lovely lady. The only trustworthy one throughout the society. Every other one is a little bit loopy. She's strange, but a bit more grounded. Be careful what you say to Alantrix, because of if we divulge the happenings of the events of 2 years ago, when I talk about it, they get very excited, and I'm afraid that we're going to be captured. When you see the Maru, you will understand why.
Angry, excited, or gleeful excited?
Oh, both. They're zealots. They are. They are.
Okay.
If they hear what they want to hear, I fear we are going to be taken. Without our own, without will, and forced to higher ups and all sorts. This is an outpost. Wit has become an outpost for the augurs of Nell. The society is spread all throughout Equa. And this is just...
How did you know to bring us here?
The weasel brought us here. The weasel was the...
How did he know to bring us here?
The weasel knows...
Benader actually told you this was Malcolm's house.
I was a Benader. Oh, Big Daddy Benader's my best mate. Smoke pipes with me and Benny on the weekend, play cards. He's good. He's a nice Benader. But the weasels, the man who brought us here, I don't know his real name. The weasel was the person who originally brought me through the Elven Gate 3 years ago on the trip to Weirdwit. He is actually a colleague and an acquaintance of forgotten old Machamp. What was his name? The four-armed brute of Weirdwit.
Badua. He wasn't a Matt Jump.
Is he?
Yeah. I mean, he had a similar physique.
Yeah, he had 4 arms, right?
He was a
did.
Machamp.
Yeah, it could have been a Machamp, I don't know, but it was yeah. Friends, they've got a network all throughout Eckwood. It's rather strange. Hidden carvings in trees. They send messages, and the weasel had a message to find us at the gnome line. I had no idea. That was right. It was I had no idea how he could foreshadow what was going to happen. But after the blast, the weasel was there as instructed. It had been requested.
Have you seen anybody else that we met on our travels since we've been here?
As a matter of fact, I have. There's a young boy called Maul who was actually one of the orphans from Weirdwit. Do you remember the orphan room with Mallory,
Yeah.
who used to look after the children's? There's a young boy called Maul here, but he's
Survived the destruction.
not the same person. I've tried to befriend Maul. He is a very cold character now.
Is he one of the
Yes. Everybody in this town is bar Benader is the only person who was brave enough to stay after the the Elven invasion of. Do you know of the Elven invasion? Was that? You must have known. Do you know? Do you know?
The
Do you know?
invasion?
Of Wit.
The Elven invasion of Wick.
Wick, sorry, yes.
Yeah, so this was roundabout. You joined as town guard
Ah, right. That time.
during the transition, but it was just about to transition from human to elf, basically. But
Right.
you don't know of a physical invasion.
No. Okay. While he's been talking, I've sort of picked up the large sword that was left on the table.
Did you allow?
Did you leave the sword on the table when you came into the other room?
There's absolutely no way you would have left the sword.
Ah,
on the
right.
table.
Okay then. Okay.
Yeah,
I wanted to.
it'll be on his back.
It was a magical sword of star iron.
Fair enough.
You go to grab the sword and you're like, oh, sorry.
Okay, so we watch what we say around her.
She's very trustworthy.
Can we? Yeah, I mean, would she have any idea where Clara might be?
We can ask. I've spoken freely with Elantric. She's the only person with which I've had actual correspondence in this whole town, apart from Benadeb, and we just sit there, smoke pipes, and laugh at these idiots. It's the only way to pass the time, really. 2 years in this dump. Sorry, Malcolm, I know it's your hometown, but at the moment it is a dump.
You can hear a conversation from the other room, and I was telling them, he just came in and he just took the food, and I was like, go away. And he just ate it so quickly. I don't understand.
She's kind of not. She's given up engaging with you at the moment.
Yeah.
You can talk at her. That's fine. But she's kind of. You
stone.
suspect she's distrusting of you.
Okay. So he's trying to keep her attention because he understands that everyone's gone into the other room. So he's doing the only thing that he knows, which is kind of like his sword practice. So he's like showing her like how much skill he's got. And he's like,
Does he look adept? Or is it not quite? Are you adept?
We walk back
he
in.
looks marvellous.
Are you as good as you think you look?
You find out.
So we walk back in to see this small dog pretending to wield his massive sword.
Not pretending.
Wielding his massive sword.
Yeah.
Right.
He's quite dexterous for a little lad.
Does he look impressive? We're looking now.
Yeah, we're all sort of standing in the doorway. That's going to be
15
really
impressive.
That's
That's going to be really
Some-
loud.
right underneath your microphone.
Well, that would actually be a performance roll because we make very few performance rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Say
Let's do it.
15 plus.
Performance is a 19.
What?
Theatrical
You
dog.
look- is it- for a 2-foot dog, and how many feet is your broadsword?
5 foot. 3 inches wide. It's a big old sword.
Yeah.
And it's a weird fighting style because the sword's so strong and so heavy. It seems more like he puts inertia into the sword and then moves around the sword. The sword is definitely the higher mass out of the two fighting.
So we're basically all standing in the doorway watching this from behind while she's watching it from the other side, and we're all just standing there going,
It's actually very impressive. Yeah.
bloody marvellous, fantastic. That's that. I tell you that.
Zolan, do you know this dog?
No.
He says you're friends.
We friends?
Well, yes.
Huh?
We're soon to be very good friends.
Oh.
You said Clara is missing, and this dog has turned up
Yes, can we
with a
get
big sword.
can we get back to the point?
Yeah.
I've
Yes.
never met a Claro, it's fine.
We have a missing Claro, and we have 2 small gremlin-y creatures who have stolen some items from us.
About, she sort of gestures, the same height as this creature.
Give or
and
take.
Thin, with narrow little faces, and
Yes.
did they laugh at you?
They yes.
Brownies.
What are these?
Brownies.
Brownies?
Delicious. Licks his lips.
Yes, we had a brownie problem a few years ago.
Do you know where these might have gone?
No, they like mischief. They're attracted to magic. Hence why they've come to you, I suppose. Yes, that's brownies.
So she's aware that we have a magical person in our midst.
They receive a thrill by playing with it. It's a toy. Magic is a toy.
Are brownies ever stolen people?
Stolen people?
Claro?
I'm
He's very magical.
I'm not an expert. Maybe.
Where can we find these
Two
brownies?
of them.
Well, they probably
Trolling now. Oh, where are they?
they probably won't go far. You have magic in your nature. They'll stay nearby unless something more magical pulls them elsewhere.
Right.
Perform a spell.
This one can
Okay,
probably
I'm
track
gonna-
him.
I'm gonna go up into the attic. I'm gonna bend down. I'm gonna reread this sheet. Pick a little leafy twig from my head and into the air, out the window. It's gonna go. It's gonna form a lovely tunnel of falling leaves because this is druid craft.
The first spell of the campaign. Okay, so
And it's just going to be just a little 5-foot cube of falling leaves right outside the door.
yeah, how long does that last?
24 hours.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Okay.
I can't remember how they react in Weird Wits and Magic. Not Weird, but just in Wit,
Yeah.
sorry. How they
In
react to Wit. The rest of them.
Which is what I was just going to
Yeah,
ask before somebody
Yeah.
decided to go and show a load of magic.
down. Should I be using magic?
What does a spell like this do to Maru especially?
Magic is outlawed. I would not flaunt it.
Oh,
Oh, good.
Can I do another one? So this time, I'm going to take a little leaf,
Yeah.
I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to cast Druidcraft again, and just puff them all away with my puff of air.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. No problem. That's fine.
We're
they've gone-
completely oblivious to all this, aren't we? We're
Yeah, okay. Well, he shouted down, should I be doing magic?
no.
I just failed to understand. Don't you find this insane? They've woken up, they've been asleep for 2 years. They've woken up at exactly the same time as each other. At the same time, this dog with a huge sword has turned up.
Oh,
And Claro has gone missing.
And
At the
also,
same time, brownies have appeared.
also, somebody tied Thorinir up and put him in the loft.
to be honest, I believe Thorin is capable of that himself.
I mean, it
I,
might
uh,
just be me.
I literally walked cross country. I don't even know these guys. He's fine.
I'm gonna walk over to Felix and I'm just gonna request if I can can
Look at your
I
collar.
want to just can I just look at the sword? Just want to look at it. Can I touch it?
Are you asking him?
I'm asking. I'm going to ask. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could touch it. It's fine. It's my sword.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't believe it's real, so I'm just going to try and lift it.
Okay.
I want to see. I don't
Are you
believe
letting
it's
him
something
take
of.
it, or?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably not going to take it from you. It's only going to be.
You just want
It's
to
just
take
going to
the
be.
weight of it?
Actually, is it real? I'm like, is it a sponge?
Sure. So it's
This little fella.
it's
that's
pretty
doing it.
heavy. It's probably about because it's made of quite a dense steel. It's probably like 25 kilograms, maybe.
That's like the weight of me.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, if you think you can carry it,
I'm going to attempt to carry it.
yeah, just go.
Just want to feel the weight. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just didn't
I mean,
believe
you
it
can
was.
carry
I
it,
can carry it. What is it?
but it's a heavy broadsword.
What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
What is
wouldn't,
it?
you
Swing
wouldn't
it.
feel comfortable
Swing
wielding
it.
it.
Is it a broadsword or just a broadsword?
It's a. Yeah, you would not be able to wield this sword.
I would try.
Thud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you could pick it up.
Okay.
What do you want with my sword?
Not gonna lie to you, I thought it was fake. And I struggle to carry large stones, and you're even smaller than I am.
You're very different than I imagined. Could you have my sword back, please?
Of course, I would.
But the great Zolan is a strange man.
Who?
You.
I'm sorry, Zolan, he hasn't been here for 2 years. I don't think you. Is it only me?
No, it's not only you. I'm just trying to figure out what to do.
Well, we need to go and find those
We need to
brownies.
Oh yeah.
That's what's on my mind.
Yes, I thought it might
I
be.
know he's thinking about it. I know he's thinking about it.
I am hungry.
Well, you're not thinking about it.
I am thinking about it, but I'm also
Okay, let's
thinking about
go.
our missing friend.
I've never met Clary. I don't really care.
He's dead to me.
Zolan's here. Let's go.
There's another knock at the door.
Oh, jeez.
Good.
This one's going to get peeked through the window.
Okay. Yeah. As you peek through the window, you see two brownies, small, thin, imp-like creatures wearing simple brown trousers, green kind of jerkin, and like little pointed hats, pointy ears, and they are. There's only one pack at the moment, and it doesn't look like either of your packs. And they're running away from the door.
Oh, ginger
And,
knocking. That's what they call
They
it.
look back, look at you right in the eye, seeing you through the curtain,
Yeah.
smile, hold the pack out, drop it down the well, and run off again.
I'm gonna fucking wind up a well of my own. I don't even know who they are, to be honest. Yeah.
Zolan, who is it?
Oh,
Who's in
What
the
was?
door?
What was the? Who's? What?
I've got a feeling it was the brownie.
Let's
So
go.
I haven't seen one before. But he's thrown a bag in the well.
In the well.
Oh, one at the door. Oh, get rid of the door. We'll open the door.
They
And
say
I'll-
if you kill a brownie, 2 more will return.
I'll pull the bag in, close the door.
Pull the bag in,
He left the bag at the door.
threw it down the well.
Yeah.
Oh, both of them.
Threw
Yeah.
a
He
bag.
Oh.
had one bag.
What a twat.
One
There's a
bag.
One
Yeah, the
bag.
bag.
in and one. I thought he left one at the door and threw one down the well.
Did
Right.
you see whose bag it was?
Did I see whose bag it was?
It didn't, at first glance, it didn't appear, with your passive perception, it didn't appear to be yours or Thorinir's, Malcolm's or Thorinir's, which were the two
But it could
that
have
were
been.
taken.
It could have been Claro's. So they dropped a bag down the well.
Yeah,
Right.
why are we going to get it?
I'm going to go and have a look down the well and see if I can get anywhere near this bag.
This guy knows what he's on about. Come on.
Okay, Malcolm, you've just woken up after 2 years of being in a coma.
Oh yes, that's true.
I suggest you probably don't descend a well.
I'm not going to go down the well. I'm going to have a look down the well and see what the situation is. How deep is the well? How deep is your well? And maybe it landed in the bucket and I can wind the bucket up.
Sure.
Before you leave, I am going to... Elantrix, I know this is sorry, but... Not a reflection on you. Malcolm, be careful of the people outside. They will harass you and they will try and talk to you. I'm sorry, Elantrix, there's nothing on you. Malcolm,
Okay.
please be careful what you say.
Right.
Please.
Okay.
There's nothing to worry about, Malcolm. Zolan's got this strange idea that we're all insane. I've been trying to tell him we're not.
I mean no offence, Elantrix, you're lovely.
I know,
You're-
I know,
I'm
Zolan.
sorry.
I need a
But,
drink. I really need a drink.
How about a drink of water at the well?
So you're exiting the house?
Yes, in spite of Zolan's protestations, I am going to leave the house and go and look down the well.
Okay. So
I need to do something. There's this all lunacy around me, and I feel the need to do something proactive.
Come on,
Okay.
Zolan. Let's go to the well.
Heal.
So you head to the well.
I'm going to look from the window.
Okay, fantastic.
Oh.
So you're heading to the well, anyone else heading to the well? Yeah.
Need some fresh
You're not
air.
going to the
I'm
well.
looking from the window. I
Yeah.
don't trust these people.
In which case, yeah, Felix is just going to stand by Zolan.
Really?
Come on, Zolan, let's go.
Okay. So you head over. Elantrix comes to. Don't do anything stupid, and she comes across to you, and you notice pretty quickly that a couple of the augurs, just the other ones that were sort of milling around the town before, sort of looking up in your direction, just generally towards you, and there's a little bit of whispering and talking.
Are we all looking out the door?
in the direction. Yeah.
Don't like that. Oh no! It's
Every-
beginning.
Yeah, it's clear that people have become aware that this is going on.
I'm striding to the well with as much forcefulness as my tired and aching limbs can manage me. But I'm going to go to the well. Is it a well with a rope and a bucket?
Pail, yeah, that's right. It is, yeah. So if you, it's a stone well surrounded by these sort of flagstone tiles that are all around the whole city
I'm
or town.
going to wind the handle to raise the bucket.
Okay. Yeah, so you can certainly do so. It will take you maybe 20-30 seconds to get it all the way to the top. You'd estimate it's many feet deep. And eventually you manage to get the bucket up to the top of the well, and
Is there
it's
a
full of
bucket?
water.
It's full of water. I'm going to take a drink because it's been 2 years since I had a drink of fresh water other than what was passed to me in my comatose state. So I'm going to take a good few handfuls of
A drink.
gorgeous, fresh, clean water from the well.
Never hurt anyone in this game.
Wash my face and just enjoy the moment
L'Oreal.
It's like ambrosia.
because I'm worth it.
You know, it's like heaven's nectar. It's the
Yes.
It's the most amazing. It's
This
such
is-
a fantastic feeling to have
for-
that liquid down your
For a
throat.
moment, I'm just going to indulge in the sheer joy of something that isn't confusing the hell out of me.
And you enjoy it, and
Yes.
it feels, it tastes homely. It tastes like the water you remember, not that strange Broderbush water. It's very refreshing.
I feel much better. But there's no pack in the bucket. Arse.
Maybe you should use a rope.
I'm not climbing down into
Malcolm
the well.
man,
I'm not climbing down into the well.
you're a coward.
I've just come out of a 2-year coma. I can barely stride purposefully to the well, let alone climb down it.
I'm going to shout to Zolan. We need someone small
Yes.
to go down the
Yes,
well.
Zolan.
His day doesn't get any better.
This
His
is
hand
This
just-
is Zolan shaped. This well.
His head falls into his hands.
Zolan, don't go down the well.
He's going, I wish these were still asleep.
I could go down the well.
I can give you a rope.
I'm now walking back towards the house. Will you go down the well for me, please?
I will not go down the well for you.
Will you go down the
You
well
are
for
ugly
Zolan?
man. I will go down the well for little man.
Zolan, could you ask your hairsome friend,
Like a little groupie, this little fellow, isn't it?
your hirsute friend, could you ask him to...
I'm literally like right here.
Are you sure you want to do this? Your name is Felix, right?
Yes. If you want to only go down the well, I'll go down the well. It's no problem.
I'd rather the Fur Knight went down than you, Zolan.
Thank you very much. Put my hand.
I'm pretty
Thank
dexterous,
you very much.
pretty strong.
I will
You can tell.
I will go into my pack and I'll pull out 50 feet of rope.
There's a
Yeah,
there's
you
a
know
rope
You
and
know
a bucket.
You know it'll break when he gets it.
I'm done that.
I'm open to anything. It's fine.
So
Let's
what
do it. Come
Could
on.
you come?
Right.
Could you come with me, please?
No. Let's go to the well.
Fernite. What are people responding to the Fernite? What are
Well,
the
there's
other
a lot
augurs?
of looking and sort of whispering.
He's just thinking he's lived so quietly for 2 years, just purposefully like dodging alleys, going out at night, just going over to Benedict's when the shop's shut,
Yeah.
drawing the curtains and playing cards, smoking a pipe, and it's all been thrown up in the air today.
Chaos has come to you.
It is a chaotic day, yes.
What are you doing, Felix?
He'll do whatever Zolan thinks is the
My
right
arm
thing
is
to do.
round Zolan, and I'm just like, "Come on, buddy, to the well," and giving you a little yank.
We'll go, but we'll make it quick. I'll try and please. In a bucket.
Okay. See if you can get the pattern. I'm sort of holding the bucket out
Yeah.
for you to sit in the bucket, and I'll winch you down.
Cool. Big man,
Mhm.
can you look after these?
I will look after
He's
that.
gonna give you the sword, and he's like, oh jeez, and he's like, he has to put one end down on the ground, like, levers it up. It's a big one.
I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I will hold on to this and I will look after it for you. I lean it up against the side of the well.
Don't drop it.
I won't drop it.
Okay. Yeah, you can lift him and put him into the bucket. There's no worries. He's got his little neckerchief on. His furry eyebrows. You can barely see his little brown eyes. Send me down.
Start.
Okay, so you start looking there.
When did you get an opposable thumb?
So it's
Well,
pretty
Where's this come from?
He's got very dexterous paws.
Has he got a dew claw?
Yeah.
Pops out.
Weirdly, actually, he does have thumbs. That is something
Does he?
you do notice.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
So as much as he is the shape of a dog,
Yeah.
there are certain attributes about him that are non-dog.
I would immediately look at his feet. Oh, look, if I probably didn't get enough time
cloven.
to have a glance. Yeah. Cloven feet and thumbs. Yeah.
So as you start to get winched down, pretty dark pretty quickly, but you have dark vision.
Yeah.
Only in
gets
black and white though.
Yeah.
fairly narrow, and you can't really see to the bottom very well because it seems it's just this miscellaneous
He gets one of
water
his
down
paws
there.
and he just runs it down the wet side of the well as he's going down. Feels good.
You'll hear his own and go, please be careful.
You're kind of
please.
spilling over the bucket. It's not
Yeah.
the most. It's not the most easy thing to balance on, such that as Malcolm is lowering it, I'm going to ask you to do a group test. I'd like your dexterity coupled with your acrobatics.
Cool.
Another group test.
19,
Well, that's
13.
13 plus.
My acrobatics would be 25.
What am I testing
Jeepers.
against?
Dexterity.
Dex is plus 3, so that's 16.
16, fine. So yeah, relatively smooth on the way down.
Alright.
Nice one,
it's-
big man.
Yeah,
Let's keep it going.
um,
No bags just yet.
once Felix gets a certain decent distance down, Elantrix turns. Do we leave the dog down there?
Oh, well. Don't be thinking things like that.
I can still hear you have dog ears.
I don't trust him at all.
I think we leave him for now. He's not a dog.
What, you know what he is?
No.
Are you there yet?
He's not a normal dog.
I think so. There's no bags yet.
Do you trust him? I don't trust him.
I don't trust anybody in this town apart from you, Landry. You're very lovely. I'm sorry that I keep insulting your people, but I don't trust anybody. While that happens, I'll be looking to see if anybody else is still paying attention.
Oh, there's definitely people looking.
I'll be hurrying everybody up. Come on!
There's some milling.
Oh, he's
A
getting.
few more adjoining and
He's
sort of paying
flushed and
attention.
going all red. Oh, I don't want to talk to these people. Come on!
You're a decent way down. You sort of hear this strange sound
Light
like
just
from
gets smaller and
smaller and smaller. The depth is around about 80 feet down to the bottom of the well, and as you get to the bottom, at some point in time, you feel the tension sort of release from the well a little bit as the surface of the water supports the buoyancy of the bucket, which instantly sinks through the weight of the... And very quickly you get very wet fur.
Yeah. Oh no! No, it's just suboptimal.
Yeah, so now down in this pool of water, it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
Can
you see any
it's very muggy and humid and sort of
bags?
Dank.
I love that word. Dank.
Dank. So there's nothing's kind of floating.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see any bags. I'm gonna have to dive.
Cool.
Winch the bucket back up.
No, I'm not going to leave him down there.
+1 for that idea.
Go for it. See what you can
Good
find.
day. No, I said the worst day. So he's gonna climb out. He can swim, but he's gonna try and dive. I told you I wasn't gonna do anything too complicated. This
Doggy paddle dive.
Yeah. So call it what you want, Jack. But he's gonna do a little dive session. See if he can find a bag.
Sure thing. So that's fine. Yeah, you can swim down to the bottom. You're able to hold your breath in a doggy-like fashion. What's the swimming streak?
Doggy paddle.
Set you
obviously.
up. Yeah.
There's only one choice.
It's the butterfly. So you down to the bottom of the well, and then give me an investigation roll with disadvantage because you're underwater and it's wet and it's dark and everything else.
Oh, I got a 20 and a 13. And it will be -1 investigation, so it's 12.
With your sniffer, a -1.
Underwater.
That's true, yeah.
And what it makes up for in strength and dexterity class in pretty much everything.
You find you're sort of scraping around. It's a bit hard to get down. It's freezing cold, and just as you're sort of running low on breath, you manage to snag the handle of a bag. Yeah, of a sort of
He's gonna hook it around his little arm and swim back up. But like, if you could see him now, he's not happy.
It's like if you like lost twice the size. You know,
Yeah.
dogs get
Yeah,
wet.
he's got,
Suddenly
like,
there's
real-
become this like little Pringles
Yeah.
tube, and you're like, what? Where's the rest of you?
And he's going to climb back into the bucket with the bag. Put bag first.
You'd probably hear
Yeah.
as you arrive at the water zone and trying to hurry you
Yeah.
up.
And he's like,
Right.
he's just shaking.
I'm serious. Like, you just turned up in Malcolm's house. Who is he?
I've no idea.
And why do you trust him?
I don't.
A little further, Malkin.
There's a lot heavier coming up.
Because he was just in the house.
I've been in a coma for 2 years, you know.
The bucket's like full of water.
At that point,
Quicker.
these two had called me
Why are you going so slow?
cooking. Cooking.
As Malcolm is winding,
This is taking forever.
yeah.
Looks over the thing, it's still only halfway up. Oh.
As Malcolm continues to wind, the wet dog holding this pack in hand, Atlantrix desperately trying to make you drop the bucket. 2 Eventually,
years in a coma.
we're going to do one more acrobatics contested again. So group check with your dexterity.
17, so 19.
And then plus a lot.
Disadvantage, remember, Malcolm. Probably should have done the first time, but I let you.
15. So disadvantage as well.
No, not for you.
Disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh, that was a 19 plus 2, so that's 21.
Okay.
Mine was
So
15.
because you're exhausted, you're disadvantaged from your skill check.
Right.
So okay, yeah, fine again. It's tiring. Your body's aching
I'm
every
absolutely,
turn.
Yeah, at the end of my endurance, but I've got the dot.
I'm going to
to
attempt
the
to help,
surface.
but I can imagine every time that the wheel goes up, my feet come off the ground.
Yeah.
So I don't really offer any
Just
help, but I'm just
getting
come on!
heavier all the time. Let go, will you?
So there's a couple of little judders, shaky moments, but eventually they bring you back to the top.
He
And
jumps
I-
out straight away and just starts rolling on the floor. He's like, "Oh, it's so wet! Oh, it's so wet!"
And smell.
My dog Bert, when he gets wet, he runs his body along the edge of the sofa.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining him just running around the edge of the well, just trying to dry himself off. He's just like, "Oh, this is the worst. It's so cold.
And
The bag's in the bucket."
She's just staring at him in a look of confusion.
Right,
You see the pack.
we got the pack.
Yeah.
We'll go back to the house.
Yeah. Instantly, between you, recognise it as Claro's bag.
Interesting.
You're welcome.
You return to
Thank
the
you.
house,
Thank you very much.
holding
Go back
with
to
this-
the.
with wet Felix.
I assume he
with Atlantrix.
retrieves his sword.
Retrieve
Yeah.
the sword.
Very much.
You have Claro's pack there in front of you now, and that is going to be our first episode of Diamond.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Wit. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Appreciate. Yeah, everyone's been 2 years. It's really good to have everyone back together. Next week will be the same time, 7:30 GMT on twitch.tv/dierolling. All these videos are uploaded to YouTube if you're watching on there as well. Subscribe, join playlists, etc., etc., etc. We will be back next week. And until then, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back. And for the first time in over 2 years, we have been...
Dialogue.